Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie Haney. It's Tuesday, April 21st. We now have our latest numbers in for the COVID-19 coronavirus cases here in the state of Ohio. They've come in from the Ohio Department of Health as they do each day at 2 p.m. As a reminder before we move forward, they have changed the reporting system. So this is based on an expanded definition from the CDC, including not only people who have tested positive for COVID-19 coronavirus, but also people who who probably have COVID-19 coronavirus based on the best possible information available to our healthcare experts here in the state of Ohio. So based on that expanded definition, the updated number of COVID-19 coronavirus cases in the state of Ohio right now is 13,725. That's 13,725. That's positive cases and also cases that are probably COVID-19 coronavirus. The number of deaths has also risen. The new number of deaths is 557. So to give you some context on how that's changed, we saw a couple of days in a row from Saturday to Sunday and then Sunday to Monday when the number of cases here in the state of Ohio rose in the 1300s. Today, that's dropped back down significantly, so that's good news. There are 806 new cases from Monday to Tuesday. Still a large number, but not in the 1300s. The rate of the increase of deaths, the number of the increase of deaths rather, has gone up. There are 48 new deaths between yesterday and today. So what we saw from Saturday to Sunday was 20 new deaths, and then from from Sunday to Monday we saw 38 new deaths, and now today from Monday to Tuesday we're seeing 48 new deaths, also based on the expanded CDC definition, including positive coronavirus cases and probable coronavirus cases. The age range for people who have tested positive is less than 1 year old up to 106 years old, and the median age for someone who has tested positive is now 50. Someone who has tested positive or probably has COVID-19 coronavirus. Again, all of these numbers are being reported in light of the new CDC expanded definition for either testing positive or probably having COVID-19 coronavirus. And the split between males and females remains what we've seen for the most recent days. 60% of those cases are male and 40% of those are female. So to give you some context as to how we compare to the rest of the country, in the US there are almost 789,000 cases of COVID-19 and 42,458 deaths. Worldwide, there are about 2.5 million cases of COVID-19 reported and 171,810 deaths. The New York Times is now reporting that Ohio's MARION Correctional Institution is the nation's largest source of COVID-19 infections. Now, if you're looking at the population of Marion County itself, it's only 65,000, and it has the highest number of COVID-19 cases in the state of Ohio in the prison. Now, in the prison, which houses 2,500 inmates, the total number of COVID-19 inmate cases is 1,950. That's 78% of that prison population has COVID-19. Christopher Mabe, who heads the state civil service workers union that includes prison guards, says that not enough testing is being done and not enough personal protection equipment, PPE, is available to corrections officers. Mabe said this: "People are actually terrified of taking this thing back home to their families, working 16 hours a day, every day." That's what he told R3 News investigator Rachel Polanski. He said his employees are beat down and wore down. And he said many workers are being rushed back to work after contracting COVID-19. 154 workers have tested positive at the prison. The New York Times has also said that 1 out of 5 confirmed COVID-19 cases here in the state of Ohio is connected to the state's prison system. That's according to statewide figures. So as we take a look at Governor Mike DeWine recommending early release of prisoners, that could potentially be tied to those figures. There are more details on that in Rachel Polanski and Phil Trexler's story on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I would recommend taking a look at that. The link will be in our YouTube page, and you can also find that on WKYC.com. Now, this is important information for people who get Social Security benefits. If you have dependent children, you must file by tomorrow to get additional benefits. So people with children who receive certain Social Security and railroad retirement benefits need to provide the IRS with dependent information by Wednesday in order to receive the additional funds in your stimulus check. So these are the people who have not filed taxes for 2018 or 2019. So if you are one of those recipients with children, you need to file that information on the IRS's online non-filer tool by Wednesday, tomorrow, at 12 p.m. Eastern. You need to do that by Wednesday, April 22nd, by 12 p.m. Eastern. You need to go to the IRS's non-filer tool. We have that linked on WKYC.com and in our WKYC app. So the IRS will automatically send those recipients $1,200 economic impact statements, but if you have a dependent and you might be entitled to more, and you haven't filed taxes in 2018 and 2019, you need to do that between now and Wednesday. Now, you won't lose the money if you don't do it between now and Wednesday, but you will have to wait until you file a 2020 tax return to get it. So keep that in mind. Okay. A New Jersey pharmaceutical company is now offering 90 days of insulin. It's Novo Nordisk, that's the company, and they are offering diabetic patients free insulin for 90 days. If they no longer have health insurance coverage because they lost their jobs during this COVID-19 pandemic. Doug Langa, who is Executive Vice President of North American Operations and President of Novo Nordisk, said, "The pandemic is taking a serious toll on the nation's health and economy. Millions of people are losing jobs and health coverage, and that's especially tragic if you have a chronic disease like diabetes. So, to help combat that, they are offering free insulin for up to 90 days for people who have lost their health coverage and their jobs due to COVID-19. Individuals do need to provide documentation that they lost their health care benefits or that they're being offered Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act benefits, COBRA benefits. People who have potentially lost health insurance in the past due to a job change or something might be familiar with that. You can get COBRA benefits. So if you are offered COBRA benefits, this does still apply to you. Novo Nordisk is just the most recent manufacturer to help patients during the COVID-19 pandemic. Early in April, Eli Lilly announced that it was capping out-of-pocket cost for insulin at $35 during the COVID-19 crisis. So good news there for people who are suffering from diabetes and need assistance getting that much-needed critical insulin for their care. In national news, Germany has canceled Oktoberfest, which, by the name, you can tell, doesn't normally happen until October. So this is an annual festival that takes place in Munich during the fall, and it has been called off. Oktoberfest typically draws about 6 million people every year to the area, and Bavarian Governor Markus Söder said, "We agreed that the risk is simply too high." And he also added, "You can neither keep your distance nor work with facial protection at Oktoberfest." So that event is canceled. And as we know, Governor Mike DeWine said yesterday that no in-person events will be able to continue this year for the academic school year. So that means high school sports as well. And so today, OHSAA, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, has officially canceled spring events. They had previously laid out a potential timetable for return. If schools had reopened by May 1st, there was a potential that we might be able to come back and have some of those spring sports, but now that will not be happening, and that includes baseball, softball, track and field, tennis, and lacrosse. None of those high school sports will have a chance to play this year in the state of Ohio. This is the first time since 1907 that Ohio won't be holding its annual state track meet, which is one of the oldest sporting events in the state, and the baseball state tournament has also been happening every single year since 1928, so this is definitely a sad historic moment, but it is what needs to be done in order to keep us safe. Tonight, if you're in the downtown Cleveland area or you check out their feed on Twitter, you will see that Terminal Tower will be lit up blue and green. And this is in honor of the National Council of Jewish Women of Cleveland. This is to celebrate their historic 125th anniversary, and the organization was scheduled to host a ball tonight, but because of COVID-19, that had to be canceled, and there was a big name that was supposed to be there as well. Hamilton star Leslie Odom Jr. was scheduled to perform at the celebration tonight. So in order to share a sentiment, Odom sent a video message to NCJW saying, "I'm heartbroken that I'm not with you today in person to celebrate. I still wanted to be a part of the moment wishing you and thanking you well, and thanking you for 125 years of changing the lives of countless women, children, and families in Cleveland. One more message to send you off here before we go. North Royalton High School senior has written and performed an original song called More Time with the news that school will not be reopening this year. The 2020 seniors understandably taking that news pretty tough because they are missing out on that more time that they were hoping for. It's Becca Pavlich's video, and it features her high school class of 2020 at North Royalton High School. She's playing the piano in the video, and I'm going to play a portion of it for you now because it's too beautiful for me to describe. Here it is. That's just a little bit of her song. The total video is just under 5 minutes long. We have it linked on WKYC.com. It's a beautiful, moving song, definitely expressing a sad sentiment and really captures the moment, this feeling in time for seniors 2020 that we're seeing people reacting all over social media. So I recommend listening to that as well. That's been your afternoon update here for Tuesday, April 21st. I'm Stephanie Haney. We will see you with continuing coverage at 5 p.m. on What's New. I will see you there. Also, 6 p.m. on What Matters Most, 7 p.m. on Front Row, and 11 p.m. on What's Next. And you can also find Governor Mike DeWine's press conference live now on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, our Facebook, and our YouTube pages. And I will see you back here tomorrow, Wednesday morning at 11 a.m.